Hi, I'm Liz from Caravan Guard Insurance. In this video we're going to talk about motorhome batteries. So we've come to Road Pro to speak to resident battery expert and experienced motorhomer Andy Harris. Let's ask Andy a bit more about these different types of motorhome batteries.
The different motorhome batteries are starter battery and leisure battery. Starter battery can start the engine. Apart from that, it will power tracker, an alarm if you have one of the radio in the cab. The leisure batteries are intended to power all the equipment that's in the habitation part of the motorhome. Lights, pumps, the electrics in the fridge, the electrics in the heater, and the 12-volt sockets. One thing that it won't do is provide power for the 13 amp 3-pin sockets. If you're off-grid and you do want to get 240 volts out of those main sockets, then it's possible to do so using an inverter, which itself is connected to the leisure battery. A car battery and a leisure battery are really two completely different things. A car battery is designed to provide a huge surge of power to the engine for starting purposes very quickly. As leisure batteries are, on the whole, designed to provide less current, less power over a longer period of time. The fact of the matter is that some leisure batteries are not much different to starter batteries. And if you're on hookup most of the time, on campsites for example, then it's really nothing to worry about. But if you're relying on your leisure battery when you're off-grid, then you really do need to make sure that your leisure battery really is designed to be a leisure battery. There are a number of different types of leisure battery. Lead acid batteries can be divided into three types. There's wet lead acid, where you have to top them up on a regular basis to make sure that the fluid levels don't drop too low. There's AGM batteries. AGM is absorbed glass mat, and these don't need any maintenance at all. And gel batteries, which used to be quite common, but have in general been replaced now by AGM. In addition to those lead acid batteries, you've got lithium batteries, which is the new thing. Lithium batteries make a fantastic difference to you if you're going to be off-grid. I've been using lithium batteries since 2015, and I can actually go out in my motorhome and just not plug in. I mean, ever. And I run all the normal appliances that I would run if I was on hookup on a campsite. Those are the different types of leisure battery, but leisure batteries differ in so many ways. I suppose the most basic way is the amp hour capacity. That's the amount of energy that's stored in the battery that you can take out of it. So the most common leisure batteries, I suppose, are 95 amp hour, 100 amp hour, 110 amp hour, but you can get 150 amp hour, 200, you can go up and up and up and add batteries to each other in parallel to increase the capacity of battery power that you have. First thing to ask yourself is, are you going to be using your motorhome mostly on campsites with EHU, mains hookup, or are you going to be mainly off-grid? Or will it be a mixture of both? Whichever it is, that will affect the choice of battery that will suit you best. If you have appliances that use a lot of energy, such as leveling system, or maybe a drop-down bed, then you're going to have to take that into consideration. If you use a lot of electricity when you're in your motorhome, you watch a lot of television, you leave the lights on all the time, that's going to affect the capacity of the battery that you need. If you think you might like to upgrade to a bigger battery than the one that you have at the moment, then perhaps the most important factor to bear in mind is the size. Will the new batteries that you want to install fit in the place where the existing batteries are now? you have to keep your leisure battery charged, because if you get to wherever it is that you're going and your leisure battery is flat, you're going to be very unhappy indeed. So how do you charge your motorhome's leisure battery? Well, there are three ways. The first way is just to go for a drive. And in theory, if everything is working correctly as it should, then your leisure battery will be receiving a charge from originally the alternator. When you get to where you're going, if it is a campsite, it has got EHU, mains hookup, then you just plug in and the built-in charger in the vehicle will charge your leisure battery. And thirdly, if you've got a solar panel and it's correctly set up with a suitable regulator, then as long as the sun is out and the conditions are right, then that too will put a charge into the leisure battery. Of course, there's a fourth way of charging the leisure battery in your motorhome, and that's by connecting it to an intelligent mains battery charger, which will ensure that it gets a safe and efficient charge, so that when you come back to use the motorhome, everything works exactly as it should. You could also, of course, during the winter when it's in storage perhaps, take the batteries out, take them home and connect them up to an intelligent charger. But before you do disconnect them, make sure that they're not powering any security devices which could render them useless and invalidate your insurance policy. And speaking of security devices, in motorhomes mostly the tracker and alarm system, if fitted, are powered by the starter battery. So how do you make sure that the starter battery is fully charged and working as it should? It may not be that easy to check the voltage of your starter battery. Perhaps your motorhome's got a display panel which does show the voltage of both the leisure battery and the starter battery. But if it doesn't, then the best thing to do is just start the engine. If it starts, great. If it doesn't start, you're in trouble and you need to actually charge your starter battery one way or another. If you've got an app on your phone that shows you how your alarm system and tracker are working, that might show you how the battery is performing, the voltage at the very least. But otherwise, you're just going to have to go and check the motorhome, check the starter battery every so often and make sure that everything is working as it should. Well, frankly, it's not easy, but one thing that you can do is look at the panel in the motorhome. Now, different motorhomes have different panels. Some have quite sophisticated ones. Some are more primitive and just have a little row of LEDs. Green is good, red's bad. If the battery then is working to your satisfaction, everything's great. But if it's not, go and see a battery specialist who can give it a proper check. And this underlines the importance of having an annual service on your motorhome, during which they should check the condition of the battery and give you a written report. Well, the first thing to do is to try and revive it. You probably won't be able to do that by just plugging it into the onboard charger. I strongly recommend that you invest in an intelligent charger which will actually take a good look at the battery, find out the best way of bringing it back to life. If you try and charge the battery up and it still doesn't recover fully, then you've got no alternative but to buy a new battery. And when you do buy a new battery, make sure you get one that's appropriate, a good size, the right size for your vehicle, and one that does what you are going to want it to do. Well, it all depends. It depends on how you use it and how you treat it, and what kind of battery it is to start off with. It all depends on how you're using it, what you do with it, how you look after it, and what kind of battery it is to start off with. So here are my top 10 tips for using leisure batteries in a leisure vehicle. Make sure that your battery has been installed correctly, and that includes using the correct wiring. Very important indeed. Number 2, make sure that your batteries are upright. Make sure that they're firmly secured with the original fixing so they can't move about, which doesn't do lead acid batteries any good at all. And finally, make sure that your batteries are vented to the outside so that any gas building up inside the battery can go down the little tube and out into the fresh air and not build up inside your caravan, motorhome or camper van. Number 3, keep an eye on the electrical status of your battery. You don't want to let it go down too low, because if you do, you'll need to get a new battery. So keep a close eye on the display panel in your vehicle, which will show you the voltage either with a row of LEDs or preferably actual serious, realistic, true figures. Number 4, keep an eye on the physical condition of the battery. If it's a wet lead acid battery, check the levels. If it needs topping up, do that with, of course, distilled water. Look at the base of the battery in the battery tray. Make sure there's no liquid down there. That's a bad sign. And while you're down there, look at the whole case of the battery and make sure there are no cracks, splits or bulges anywhere. If you see any, get a new battery. And finally, check the terminals. Use Vaseline to make sure they don't sulfate. If they're sulfated, they'll go green and gungy and white and horrible, and that reduces the efficiency of the battery. So clean those terminals and put a little bit of Vaseline on them to keep them nice and efficient. Number 5, if you can, always use an intelligent battery charger to keep your leisure battery charged. It makes a huge difference and will extend the life of your battery and the way it works. It's well worth the initial investment. Number 6, I do strongly recommend that you don't leave your motorhome, camper van or caravan connected to the mains so that the battery is charged up using the built-in charger, because often these chargers are not really chargers at all. They're simply power supplies, and they're not doing your leisure batteries any favors. Always, if you can, as I've said before, use an intelligent battery charger. Number 7, when buying a new leisure battery, absolutely make certain that the new battery is going to fit in the available space that you've got in the vehicle. Also, make sure that the battery you buy is going to be able to do what you want it to do, that it's got sufficient amp hour capacity and sufficient oomph to power the devices that you want to use in your motorhome, camper van or caravan. Number 8, if you're using a solar panel or solar panels to charge your leisure battery, make sure that the panels are clean. Get up on a roof and give them a good scrub, particularly if it's been raining, because little bits of dirt come down in the rain, and that can seriously affect the performance of the panel and the amount of electricity it generates and puts into your battery. Number 9, keep your nostrils open and sniff your battery every now and again. That might sound mad, but if a battery is seriously damaged, seriously degraded, it may well start smelling, giving off a kind of an eggy smell. If you smell eggs in your motorhome, caravan or camper van, then get rid of that battery straight away. But be careful when you do it, because it's giving off gas that can be dangerous. Number 10, make sure that you take your vehicle in regularly for an annual service. Not only will they check the brakes, the mechanicals, the gas, the electrics, but they will also check the battery and make sure that it's safe and capable of giving you all the power you need when you need it.
Thanks to Andy, there's some great tips there for choosing, understanding and looking after your motorhome's leisure battery. Remember to take care of your vehicle's leisure battery, particularly if it's being used to power an alarm or tracking device. For more motorhoming hints or tips, why not head on over to the Caravan Guard website, and if you've enjoyed this video, please like and share.